YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Justice coming at y'all with another YouTube read, another collective energy read. Hope this finds you guys at a clarifying time of your day. Remember to take what resonates and please leave the rest behind. I appreciate your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. Let's go and get started. Angels of the highest white light, please bestow upon me clear and concise channel messages for my collective needs to hear today. Thank you, and Ashe. So my general one, for whoever this is for, remember to take what resonates. Not everything is going to be for everybody. Intuitive discernment is always at play in these types of reads. Remember that always. Whoever this is for, the main message is there's something about people are trying to play victim now that karma is here, or people are trying to play victim now that the tables have turned in some way, shape, or form. So a lot of you guys, I'm going to say the whole general message. So a lot of oppressors over your life, or oppressor and oppressors are not trying to answer for what they've done. And a lot of these things manifest in different ways that I'm about to get into. So a lot of times people try to avoid karma by seeking you, staying connected to you, 111, trying to stop whatever. So 111 can be associated with new beginnings, expansion, some type of breakthrough. So I'm going to use that in reference to this in regards to a lot of times, a lot of you guys have been hurt, stepped on in purposeful exchanges with people that were supposed to limit you in some way, shape, or form on a contractual level. And if it's not on a contractual level, then that was just a set intention. And so this plays a factor in this way because a lot of you guys are my alchemists. A lot of you guys know how to deal with energy. A lot of you guys are healers. A lot of you guys are moving through these different exchanges of resistance, so to speak, through people, through exchanges of, bullying, punishment, cruelty, things like this. That's just generalizations. But I'm saying this to say, when you're getting past a point and you're ascending past a certain cycle that people may have benefited or were used to or accustomed to or intended on you to be stuck in, there's something that backfires on an energetic level onto people that makes people act a little funny toward you, right? And so a lot of you guys are dealing with engagements with people that, or have been dealing with engagements with people, or, presently, or a general theme of your life, where people circle around. They spin the block on you a little bit in a certain way because, and I'm saying this in a way that, let's say somebody was cruel to you, mean to you. Let's say somebody was a general theme, like it was general theme of your relationship dynamic with somebody that was this way towards you for a certain reason or without a reason. There seems to become a reasoning for somebody to enact with you on the opposite level. And when I'm saying that, a lot of times this is for karma, what we associate with karma. On an energetic balance level, a lot of you guys can supersede, transcend, maybe expectations of you, maybe things that you weren't supposed to get past. Maybe you healed through things that hurt you. And when these things happen, there's a domino effect that happens on a spiritual level in terms of the overturning or the reversal or the transference of energy going back to somebody that may have allocated to you in a purposeful way, intentional way, or not. A lot of you guys are my ones that are protected by beings higher. A lot of you guys have ancestral protections that have royalty or a history of a certain way of being, whether that's healing, whether that's some type of leadership, whether that's royalty, whether that's an amnesty. Whatever it is, a lot of you guys align with me on these kinds of circumstances because you understand the battle that other people may place onto you purposefully or not purposefully. But the point of this video is for those, the awareness and the intentionality of people circling around in your life, or people coming around or acting in a strange way. We're going to get into other things too, but I'm going to start with this one. A lot of times people try to play cool with you in terms of showing changed behavior that has not yet changed, or showing behavior that may not be a reflection of what they really are enacting, but they need to show you this. That may be specifically on the dot for somebody, right? These are because of our karmic influences. And when I say karmic influences, the reallocation of energy coming back. So maybe behind the scenes, you're not seeing what somebody goes through for what they said to you, did to you, maybe kept doing to you, but they do, right? And so a lot of times the perspective becomes, okay, what can I do to kind of, on a surface level, get back into this person's good graces, right? A lot of times, a lot of you guys are watched over by spiritual presences that are, like I said, greater than you, or have been there where you are, right? In some way, shape, or form. thus as being the reason they walk with you. Saying this to say, a lot of times you guys may not notice it. You may notice it, but a lot of times, a lot of these things that people go through on an engagement outside of you or behind the scenes, behind closed doors, it influences them to act in a certain way around you going forward. A lot of times people do change. A lot of times people can change, is what I was really meaning. Can change. A lot of times it's a surface level engagement that people need to prove to you that something is different so they can get in a good grace, so they can get away from some sense of karma. A lot of times you guys have been oppressed, or, a lot of you guys deal with occult issues in terms of, being a principality of sacrifice, or being a principality of having this good energy, right? Pure energy, a balanced energy to somebody else's imbalances. And so a lot of times you guys are projected on as if you're deserving of it, right? And so a lot of times people come around and realize these things or don't realize these things. But they may realize the energy that's talking back to them, right? And the energy may speak to something different than what they may have thought or acted upon or treated you as at first, right? And so these engagements end up becoming kind of superficial over time. And a lot of times I'm kind of with this part, if you're resonating with this aspect, this is the part where you engage with your self-love or self-protection in terms of your boundaries you set around those beings entering your life, right? Because a lot of times it's on a second-hand agenda or some type of hidden motive, right? And it may not be so malicious. It may just be to be in your good graces. It may to be around you. A lot of times, a lot of you guys have dealt with people that know how to energetically benefit off of you on a surface level, or other ways of benefiting off of you. And a lot of times these things turn around in a certain way that they end up needing you. That's just how life works, right? In terms of karma, in terms of reallocation of energy, if it's not checking out, if you're not moving in alignment. A lot of people move out of alignment with a lot of you guys, or you guys are used to these types of things, and the engagements and the conflictions that can come with people that try to come around and act nice or act sweet on you and then gaslight you after. A lot of you guys deal with these things. I'm just channeling different things. But that's the first part of this message. A lot of times people can take this thing and turn it into a bigger beef or an animosity when it comes from somebody else's treatment of you, which is another form of gaslighting. And so a lot of times these things can manifest itself and influence bigger problems that you don't really need. But the thing is, and the perspective shift for somebody that's listening to me, is maybe that bigger problem is another access point for them to get your energy. A lot of times when people lose or fall out of your graces, what do? Right? They either try to start shit or try to mirror you, or try to get in your good graces through manipulation or some type of whatever, right? And so a lot of times we're going to go into the other topic. A lot of times it can turn into a certain animosity that may have always been there, but may not have been so magnified before. But maybe you setting a boundary may trigger that sense of animosity, or that trigger that sense of disagreement that they may not have let shown before. It may trigger what the real intentions behind somebody was. A lot of you guys were treated in cruel ways by certain individuals that had a certain beneficiary value of it, whether that was contractual through these occult things, or whether that was a intentional thing in terms of how somebody saw you. Either way, these things turn around every time in a certain way that either somebody comes to learn from you, engage with you, or just needs your assistance in some way, shape, or form, or just yearns your presence. And so a lot of times you guys are there as some type of teaching role in terms of what you're showing somebody, whether that's a self-love boundary, or whether that's just being a decent person, whether that's just doing the right thing, right? And a lot of you guys have been done wrong in certain ways that energetically that's never forgotten. Energetically, that's never really not seen, right? And so a lot of times we can think we get away with these things, but at the end of the day, there's something that reallocates itself in terms of maybe future experiences. Maybe somebody that got away with doing something to you 3 years ago is now hidden some shit now. You know what I mean? Shit like that, you never really can predict it. But when these things happen, it seems that the behavior changes so drastically, and it's not usually from the purest point. And so the discernment is for, that's not 100% of the cases. And so The discernment is necessary in this message as well, in terms of understanding the boundary or the reality of the situation with people that may have treated you in cruel ways and coming back around. People can change, people do change. We are subject to have to change in this world, as we know, but a lot of times we as humans, we can all relate that we don't really want to sometimes. And so a lot of times these things come up to surface, especially with someone that treated you the wrong way and is not getting away with it anymore. It can manifest itself in somebody coming around and trying to play the good guy card in your face, trying to be there for you in your face, or trying to kind of resonate with you in your face, and it may not be from the most pure intention. These are kind of engagements to where karma comes into play heavily. A lot of you guys, like I said, have a special energy about you, and it's not really just about being special. It's about having a reverence in the spiritual realm, a rank in the spiritual realm, or you have something that's backing you in the spiritual realm that has these things. And so some of these things don't just fall off the slide, right? They don't just fall off and just you forget about it. Sometimes it comes around in a way that somebody's not anticipating. And so that usually happens to to the best of us, right? And so a lot of times, a lot of you guys are moving in a certain purity that is sought after in a certain way after times of realization of these types of treatments and when it backfires. And so people have to respond a little differently to you, and they're forced to have a crossroads in terms of how they're perceiving either a situation with you, their dynamic with you, or you in general, or something about you. Right? A lot of you guys are misjudged in certain ways. A lot of you guys are gone at in certain ways for certain reasons that really have nothing to do with you, but it has something to do with your energy. But this plays in the part with how the energy goes back around, right? How the energy reallocates itself. And then people understand over time what that value or the significance of the dynamic, that thing you had, or you in general, or your energy in general, that may have been forsaken at first. And so I'm gonna end off with that one. This is just a really quick one. But if you need a personal, hit me up on my Gmail, Shamika-san with a C and Shamika@gmail.com. I've got 3 partnerships available. I've got more, but I haven't really started on any of them. But Otter Spirits, Rose Forever New York, and Amazon Web Services are all links in descriptions for 20% off if you're interested in any of that sort, anything of that sort. Otter Spirit is a jeweler company that sells vibration embedded jewelry that enhances your vibration through crystals. Rose Forever New York is a rose decor, flower bouquet, rose bouquet kind of store. And Amazon Web Services is a programming developing app. A programming developing software for apps that are associated with programming development. Besides that was not so well. But besides that, it's your boy Justice. I'm sending my love and ashe. I appreciate your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. I'm really trying to get a few out before I get to this next place. I'm trying to get ahead because I kind of start slacking. But either way, we're about 10 away from 20,000 last time I checked. But I appreciate every single one of y'all just supporting. It's only been a year. We just hit a year like back in the end of July or the middle point of July, but I just want to take that time and say I appreciate every single one of y'all. I'm sending my love and ashe, but peace out, y'all. I'm gonna see you on the next one.